Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about mergers and acquisitions, and let's start with the definition.
When your company is growing, you will be able to do a choice. Maybe you should divide it for several parts to make everything going smooth and to be more profitable. Or maybe you want to acquire some other company to be even bigger. For example, if you want to make an integration with your customers, with your intermediaries, maybe with your partners.
So obviously, there might be like a different type of the actors when it comes to this process. So can we just like map out like who exactly might be entering this game and what might be their like a goals?
There could be a lot of different kind of players. First, it could be bank. For example, you are coming to the bank and asking for a loan, and suddenly bank will sell. Another customer of us already asking about your business, and maybe instead of loan, you want to give some share of the company to another one. Or maybe this bank will ask you, or maybe if you're so prosperous and you like your business, and maybe you want to step out to have a professional board, and maybe we will ask some other our clients if they want to enter in your business. Second, there could be intermediaries. For example, they are searching for a company the same size, the same goals, the same production values, processes, and so on, and they have a short list, and you're already enlisted. Third, it could be another company which has lack of resources, but you are largest customer, and this company fears that maybe you will leave or quit the contract. So it will ask, maybe you want to buy us to be more stable. Also, you sometime will think, okay, I know everything about my business and everything is going okay, and I know that maybe it's time to be wider, to step on the new territories, or maybe to add value to my process. Maybe should I buy some small companies to install them in my body?
And when it comes to strategizing, so let's say like we might be on the side of the company that may want to consider the exit. So I do remember it's one of the skills, probably it's multiple. You said like, okay, like when you work in a small company, actually try to think bigger as if you will be building like a 10x companies and, like pretend that you already have all of this at scale. So probably it also might be applied to the mergers. Like you probably may want to think that one day or someday there will be someone else who just will appear at the door entrance and will offer like a lump sum of money for the company. And for that you probably will need to think like what exactly will need to happen within the company, what kind of documentation we need to have in order to make sure that the offer that we're going to put in front of them will be so appealing so that they really immediately will say yes. So in terms of like a mindset, like how should the owner of the business or maybe the partners should think about it in order to be ready for such a acquisition or merge?
There is English or American sayings, fake it until you make it. But this is not about what we're talking. This is not about how to pretend to be someone. This is how to think. If you think as a big company, you will have documentation, you will have everything fixed, and you always think about how to increase value of my business. And also each Friday or each Monday, it depends from your business, you will be ready to be sold. So it's way how to think to make everything in order. If your company will be transparent, if your process will be described, if you as an owner are already grown up or so-called mature, mature, it's okay?
Mature.
Mature, yes, sorry, mature. So maybe sometime you will hear voices. Someone will ask you. Maybe you want a new partners. Maybe you want to quit. Maybe you want to be part of another company which is bigger than you, and maybe you will go faster. Maybe you will open one more business. So yes, if you will think like a company 10 times more than yours, this will organize your mindset to be very flexible in these cases. If you are a small owner of a company, not a big one, you will be thinking, okay, what I will do without my company, what I will do with my employees, my customers. Yes, you should think about it before you will be asked to solve something.
And actually, if we put ourselves in the shoes of the people who are actually thinking about, like merging with the company or even acquiring the company, obviously they might be, like looking into all of the documentation, but what should be their mindset when they try to assess the company, like how they should speak with the people in such a, in this, like in the within the organization, what kind of documents they will need to look at, and what kind of maybe put the checklist of the red flags that another company may have should look like.
If you're big enough to search for a market shares of other companies, you will find that small companies never think about to be sold. So if you will ask some owners, maybe you will sell me company or part of it, always you will hear, okay, I am not ready, give me some time to think. And suddenly they will come and say, okay, I want X5 or X6 of my EBITDA and so on, and you will asking them, okay, but what you have in your company? Are you selling customer base? Are you selling process? Are you selling your stuff? What exactly are you selling? And no one knows. Everyone is thinking, okay, I have a profit annual size which is like X, and I want it to be multiplied. But if you will talk to them like several times per year, suddenly they will realize that they should prepare some documents. Maybe also you could infect them with the thoughts that they should invite some consultant, which they will make like wrap up. So wrap up, it's like обертывать. It's okay?
Yeah, that's correct.
To wrap up company with documents to make it more stable, to make it more visible, to make it more attractive. So it is not easy to find a company to acquire for the very first time. Maybe you will have like 10 times and several attempts to each pretendant to choose what to buy, and never you will be so happy with your deal because something would be wrong. Maybe you will be talking with owner who is very young as a businessman. Maybe you will talk with a person who want to run simultaneously the same business without knowing, without putting you into the knowledge. Maybe you will find customers that do not want to stay with you and they have already shadow deals with previous owner. So you should be ready to deal with skeletons in the wardrobe.
And well, obviously, when it comes to such process, probably in other companies, they might be looking not into the entire company, but maybe to a certain parts of it. Let's say, for example, they just could let the owner or the stakeholder walk away with a big check of money, or they're just looking for intellectual property, or maybe just like a brand or name. So in this process, how they should think about, like negotiating for those parts, given that each company also might be like a little kingdom with all of this like interest and all of the like invisible connections. So what should be considered, what should not, and whether it will make sense to kind of try to optimize the offer.
When I was working in Japan, in Toyota, I was told in fairy tale that Toyota bought small pieces of all companies which produce the whole chain of some car parts to get access for the information and to see it in boards. But when I was working as a consultant, when I was working as a bank employee, when I was working as owner of my companies, sometimes I was thinking maybe should I buy something, and I was buying some small part of companies around the globe which was making information security or navigational services or some services to check spam filters and so on. And suddenly I realized that there is no need to buy a small part of the company. If you will establish good connections with the owner, he or she would show you all these documents and you will be like a mentor. But if you are dealing with a company of the same size, this is not possible because you are not exactly a competitors, but sometimes there are secrets which shouldn't be revealed. Yes, revealed. So in this case, you should step out and say, I want to buy a chair in the board, and which size of the company should I acquire to get this condition? And sometimes you will be told like 10%, 15, 12, or maybe 25. But if you're buying just small piece of company like 5% and you will be smallest shareholder, you will not be able to impact for the organizational structure and budgeting pipes and so on. So you should be not less than smallest shareholder already exist. In this case, you could unite with this person and you will be like alliance, which will go all together, and you will not be interfering with interest, because this partner who was already in the company, he is the smallest and he wants to be stronger. You have no interest in widening your share, but you want to have voices.
Well, it's actually interesting part, like when we speak about the alliances, because I do believe when it comes to big companies, there might be like a big shark in the water who just like eats a smaller fish. And sometimes you don't want to bite, but maybe you just want to, like poke someone within the company and just like give them a certain piece of money to, make the stuff happen. So maybe we speak a little bit about like the dark side of it, because I do believe it might be not very honest, not very fair ways to, like acquire some of the companies or like piece of the companies. So what to do in such cases when you actually on the side of the defender?
When I was head of security of Ukrainian Alpha Bank, sometime I was dealing with my former student. I was been teaching people for 10 years, and approximately, I don't know exactly, maybe 1.5 thousand of my former students, they became IT guys in different companies, and sometimes they sold me information for $100, $500, and the largest sum I have already paid, like it was like $600. It's really peanuts according to my budgets, but it will give me access to almost all databases, or maybe I was having copies of the databases. Yes, now this is prohibited. After, I don't know, like 10 years, it was not possible, but previously it was quite easy. By the way, right now, a lot of different services, state services like tax service, or I don't know how to say, Следственный комитет.
Probably like internal affairs.
Maybe internal affairs departments, they ask some people to make some I don't know how to say, suggestions about not clear deals, and those people are called striped, because on the, I don't know how to say, aglet.
Could be an aglet too.
On the aglet, you have several stripes. It's depend how high you are in a hierarchy. So sometimes when you try to poke someone, you should be think maybe you have been already infected by the person who are stealing your information and selling to someone. Sometimes it's happened, and as a head of security, I was catching, I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2 person each year.
Well, never trust anyone. And my last question will be how knowing about mergers and acquisitions could help to make this world a better place.
When you start your business, you will think that maybe you will go upstairs and maybe you will be an unicorn and you will be like a Bezos or Musk or Buffett or Bill Gates. But suddenly after 5 years, you'll realize that it is very boring to stay in the same business for a very long time, because nothing happened. You have not too much clients, you have not too much stuff, everything is already well known. So maybe you will find a way how to solve your company, or vice versa. It would be another way, and you growing constantly, and you have no time to open new companies on different regions, and you will find someone to buy, and you will make them offer, and you will be widening and make expansion by this acquisition, and suddenly you will become a huge shark which will eat a lot of different fish in all directions, and maybe it also will make you happy, because these negotiations will very funny. If you have money and you are buying a company which have lack of resources, usually you will win, because this company has no future, but you have.
Помните, что мы всего лишь рыбки в океане, все зависит от размера и аппетита, а мы рассмотрели навык слияния и поглощения, и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!